And now back to TSPN's News in Depth, Meet the Candidates 2012.
Hello, I'm Mike Spence here at TSPN, Meet the Candidates. I'm here today with Rich Farrington, who is running for the Amador County Water Agency Board of Directors in District 3, which is our upcountry district, which is where I'm from, and I'm really happy to have you here, Rich. Welcome.
Hi, Mike.
Thank you. I understand that you have an extensive background, and you've been undertaking this election and taking it on and spending a lot of time using your background to run for the Water Agency Board. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Mike, first, if I'm elected, I'll work to lower sewer and water rates upcountry and also improve fire protection.
Water rates and fire protection are, as you know, the two biggest issues for us upcountry residents. And I understand you have a terrific and extensive background in that. And why don't you tell us a little bit about your background?
I have 31 years in civil engineering, and I live in Pioneer, and I'm a water customer myself. I've managed a small water system upcountry for 17 years, so I'm familiar with piping systems and flow, etc. I'm a fiscal conservative. I believe in common sense solutions, and I believe in putting customers first.
I understand we're pumping the water 1,000 feet up in order to process it. How does all that work, and what's the big issue up there now?
In 76, 77, it was a big drought, and a lot of wells went dry, so the county jumped in, built this emergency pipeline and pumps. So 35 years ago, the system was put in. Originally, the designers thought it would last 25 years. Well, here we are 35 years, and we've got the Water Agency got a couple of independent engineers to review the pumping system earlier this year, and they're predicting extended water outages if nothing is done soon to replace that pumping system.
And the gravity supply line, they call it the GSL, and that's one of the alternative options to look at in terms of either replacing the pumps, which are obviously failing if they're 35 years into a 25-year lifespan, and looking at that gravity supply line alternative. How does that, what do you think about that, and how does that work out exactly?
Well, there are the two alternatives. One of them is obviously replacing the pumps and pipeline as it currently exists, and there are two major pump stations, one down by the river where the water comes from, McCallamy. There's another halfway up, and it is a pump distance, 1,100 feet vertical, that they have to lift the water at very high pressure. Water goes up to the treatment plant at Buckhorn. The other alternative that experts have talked about for many, many years is a gravity line that would feed water from a huge PG&E reservoir up Tiger Creek that holds over 180 million gallons. And gravity flow it down into the treatment plant and actually could filter the water without having to pump it through the filters.
Now that gravity supply line seems like, what people have called a no-brainer. Obviously, the gravity feed is a lot simpler than replacing these pumps and having to mechanically service them and, address every issue that comes up with anything mechanical like a pump over the years. And financially, I guess there's a big stress on the Water Agency to, do the repairs on these pumps as well. What would prevent them from waiting another 5 years before taking any action? Why do they have to take an action and make a decision on that now?
Well, the fact that you have independent engineers recommending action very soon, I think makes it, I believe it would be irresponsible if the agency didn't do something soon to plot out and adopt a plan to either replace the pumps or build this gravity line. Another reason is that the pumps use an awful lot of electricity, The agency spends something like $300,000 a year on PG&E cost and maintenance costs for those pumps. So if the GSL option were selected, that money, instead of going to PG&E, could be paid into a low-interest, long-term fixed-interest loan that the federal government has offered, as well as they're offering an almost 40% grant, outright grant. So at this point, the cost of the GSL option is less than for replacing the pumps. In fact, as I said earlier, running to work to lower rates and improve fire protection, and I think the GSL can be built for no increase in customers' costs, possibly even a slight decrease, and so I'm very interested in that.
So we're looking at a lower cost, if not the same cost, with the GSL option versus a much higher cost potentially in the future. The other items
for the pumps,
themselves.
Our engineers and consultants are telling us that it would be about $16 a month increase if we were to replace the pumps.
And there are 3 pumps up there now currently, or how do those?
There
pumps
are
actually
2
work?
giant pump stations and 3 big pumps in each one, and one down at the river and one halfway up the mountain. So because it takes extra kick to get the water up. The pumps have had an increasing history of being down, not working, or maintenance. For instance, earlier this month, the lightning storm that we had disabled the pumps for 15 hours, and the main water distribution tank got to half empty. Now, if that lightning had started a fire burning in the canyon or in the area that would burn up into the developed areas, it could have been a major disaster. So, and this would not have happened if we'd been serving or bringing water flowing down by gravity through a gravity supply line. The water would be in pipes underground, be not affected by any kind of fire or lightning.
Fewer service interruptions, and
exactly.
Obviously rate protections of sort, and really looking at the differences in future repairs and service.
Well, in terms of fire protection, there are other fires in California that have burned up pumps or disabled the power so that the water was lost. The 49 fire, for example, in the Auburn area in 2009 disabled their pumps, and 63 houses and 6 businesses were lost. There was a similar fire in Southern California that disabled pumps to where the water was being pumped up to the top of a mountain, and a judge, the fire hydrants went dry. The 12 residents sued the water company, and a judge just awarded $70 million to them. And the water agency budget is about $10 million a year. If something like that happened in this upcountry,
I'm all for additional fire protection.
It could jeopardize the existence of the agency, and that and if they failed, that could affect the customers throughout the county. So
you mentioned the financial part of that, Rich, and I wonder, the water agency has had some financial history and some problems in the past, and how do you plan on addressing it? I know that the grant money from the federal government and that low interest loan it would expire next year. It's only available if it's $5 million, and the water agency is investing $8 million and all that. So there is a timing issue in terms of timing being important to move on this right away, and people who are elected to the board will need to make those decisions coming up immediately. Talk a little bit about the financial issues with the water agency and what you plan on.
Let me just finish by saying that the active county fire chiefs in 2010 sent a letter to the water agency supporting the gravity supply line as improving fire protection up country. As far as the financing for a project like the gravity supply line, yes, the agency does have a offer of a $5 million grant and up to $8 million 40-year loan at a fixed interest rate of 3.25%, and that expires next September. And we've gotten a couple of extensions, and the feds are saying that if we're not under construction by next summer, we'll lose that financing. And I think that this election is going to be an indicator of how the people up country feel about, pumping versus gravity. And gravity flow of water is a no-brainer.
Water is an incredible issue for us up there, as is fire protection. And I want to thank you for coming today and learning more about your candidacy. We have this opportunity to meet the candidates, and it was a pleasure meeting with you today, Rich, and I wish you all the best of luck.
Thank you very much.
And I know that our viewers are watching, and I want to thank you for watching Meet the Candidates. And we have about a minute left, so I would just allow you to just tell us here at the end, why Rich Farrington for Water Board Agency?
I'll work to lower water and sewer rates up country and improve fire protection.
That sounds like a winner to me. Thanks, Rich.
Okay, thank you.
I appreciate you very much. Thank you for watching. We have a lot of programming coming up here on TSPN. Stay tuned.